Hello everybody, happy Friday. I already have my old fashioned made and I'm ready to go enjoy the weekend. But before I do, we are going to do a brief market wrap up. We'll take a look at what we were looking at this week and what ended up playing out here. So I did want to take out this low before getting any kind of a pump. And to me, this was going to be, this was our wave 5 ABC and, correct upwards or correct down, take out this low here and then, get our pump upwards. I was ready and waiting to look for a long down here. And when we started to hold this low here, I remember I posted this in the Discord for you guys. And I basically said there's a possibility we end up getting the move up first. And we see this rising wedge play out. Okay, and that wound up being exactly what happened, right? So we'll dive in and look a little bit deeper here. I have a chart here. I did some live streaming just about an hour and a half ago, where I did update my charts to take a look at this here. So we do have this rising wedge here. We even have this trend line here, which we can see nearly to the dollar is where we rejected from. Okay, and I do have some areas of liquidity that are important, and we have this naked point of control here. So ultimately what I would be looking for here is if we go out onto a daily time frame, we have potential for a pending today's close, which I think it's really important that we close below the previous month high. A closure above, that's just a really nice sign of strength. I think it's very important that we close below the previous month high. So on the Bybit chart, that's 21,088. If we get the closure below there, great. We swing failured this high, technically. Okay, we rejected from the previous month high, right? Because we had a closure below. And we have potential for for bearish divergence on the daily time frame if this closes below here and the following candle, let's say like Saturday, closes red. So if we can get a red closure on Saturday, and even better if we got one also Sunday, we can then look for this bearish divergence to play out to the downside, which would lead, in my opinion, to take out this level like I originally wanted to. Maybe going as low as like 19.7, somewhere between like 19, let's say 19.6 to 19.9 or 20k, somewhere in that $400 range is really like where I would like to see that play out to. Okay, but it's technically not there yet. It's not bearish divergence until it's confirmed, until we get the next day a red closure plus, and again, like I said, I think it's really important that we close below the previous month high. Okay, so going down again, going down to a lower time frame, kind of looking at doing something, maybe getting this run up here and then kind of coming back down and playing out the wedge a little bit, getting our move down here, playing out this falling wedge, getting our move down here to grab this liquidity, break out, and then get our subsequent move up that we would continue to expect some degree of continuation. And then this would end up being our macro wave 2. So like if let's see here, it would be basically this right here. So 1, 2, and then 3 for a continuation. But that is if and only if this daily does close below the previous month high, in my opinion, and we do get the bearish confirmation. We do get confirmation on the bearish divergence on a daily time frame. Okay, without those things, we're just looking at a pump here, right? Like when we want to see a setup, we're looking for some degree of a setup. Well, we have one. We have a rising wedge, which is a bearish formation. Okay, we have potential bearish divergence on a daily time frame, which we would like to see again close below here and get confirmed. Once that is confirmed, along with this wedge, I would say it's very likely that we would then, have something like this play out. Okay. However, if we do get the daily closure above here and price continues to, you know, knock out this level, break out here, and continue to go up to here, well, then we're going to have to reevaluate and look at a different plan. I do still believe that this zone here is a very, very, very key resistance, you know, and something that we'll have to keep an eye on eventually when we get there. But as of right now, again, I do like this setup. I do think it has potential for that move down. We have a naked point of control here. We have a good pocket of liquidity at about 20,450, and that's right where the monthly open is. So I drew something out. I think like what would be really nice, and who's to say what'll happen over the weekend, right? So I'm going to go ahead and hide this. Maybe get this move up, grab liquidity, or just simply get our move down. You know, back test the wedge, grab this liquidity here, you know, hit the naked point of control, back test the wedge, you know, then get a continuation to the downside here where we swing failure this low, grab the liquidity, and then ultimately break up, you know, to our initial target. And really that's just going to end up being, you know, if we take our fixed range pull here, really we're just looking at a range, right? We're just looking at still continuing to play out this range that we've been in here, right? This is ultimately between here and here, right? You can see top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, and really just sort of developing this range, and then again having our breakout and continuation to the upside with a back test before we have further continuation. Because again, you know, I do look at this as being a bear market rally where I would expect for us to get to the top of the range at about 25K. But before we get too excited about that, it's really important that we take it level by level. And again, what I'm seeing here is some degree of a range being put in where this wedge comes into play. We do get this move down, take liquidity here, take liquidity here. And again, you can even see it really nicely here with this. We have this nice upwards channel. You can see bottom to top, bottom to top. You know, I'd like to see a move down to the bottom, which would be grabbing liquidity here. And then, you know, eventually back up to the top or to the midline at some point later on. So we do have a lot of really nice confluences playing out here between that upwards channel, this nice wedge here. Again, this resistance line that we had here, this uptrend that is now a resistance line here. And these areas of liquidity are all, you know, set in really nice places in key areas, like this one being right next to the naked point of control here, the daily naked point of control. So again, my general plan is for price to first go to 20,500-ish, then to swing failure this low, grab the liquidity below, to maybe go as low as 19.6K, but that's yet to be seen. And then to eventually, you know, break out of this range that we have here to the upside for further continuation. Now, that can only happen, again, if we get a proper daily close, we see that bearish divergence on a daily time frame confirmed, and we see it play out. All right. So entering here, I think it's an aggressive entry. I think it's an aggressive short to take it before we see actually any confirmation of this reversal, but I do see potential for a setup. We had a very nasty rejection here. If we go down to an hourly time frame, we had a very nasty rejection on the 1 hour here and ended up closing the 4 hour candle below our 17.5K VWAP. Now, to follow up on that, we did have a closure, a 4 hour closure above the previous month high and above this VWAP here, and it's following 4 hour candle. So that's something worth taking note. Oftentimes when you do have these big wicks here, they do get filled. So this isn't necessarily uncommon, but again, we want to see some of, you know, these, like I said, that daily bearish divergence confirmed, and then, you know, start to play out before we get too excited with some of this stuff and start overly shorting things. Okay, right now we have the opportunity for a setup. It looks good for the potential for a move down like this, but until we get that confirmation, it's unclear as to what will happen. And plus, being that it's Friday, weekend price action, although it's typically for the most part sideways, there can be those anomalies, those handful of times where price can get very aggressive on a very thin order book, a very low volume weekend, where someone can really move the market and take advantage of getting a quick move up or getting a quick move down. So it's just a couple things to keep an eye on. If this were on a Monday, I would feel a lot more confident in this trade, but being that it's a weekend, it's tough to say what will happen over the weekend for price action. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I will be in the Discord. I'm happy to answer any and all questions if I have some time over the weekend, but I am not going to be taking any trades. I'm going to be patient, look for my confirmations. We have the potential set up here, but it's not yet confirmed. So this is an aggressive entry at this point. We'll have to just see how it plays out. All right, enjoy your weekend, guys. We'll see you in the Discord.